Hello, I'm Barneveld from Graise Consultancy. Together with AHDB, I've been bringing you these autumn management videos. And we're now into October, and October is the start of last rotation month. And if you've been following our videos up till now, ideally you should be grazing covers of somewhere under 33, at the most 3,500 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and you're going along grazing nice covers of grass down to good residuals of 1,500 kilos of dry matter a hectare residuals. If you're doing all that, you should now be somewhere naturally onto 1/40th of the platform per day rotation. And no matter what your pasture cover is, even if you're grazing covers at 2,800, 3,000, it's now really important, if you're going to stretch grazing as long as you can, is to offer 1/40th of the platform per day. So it's important to work out what that area is, allocate that area, and if you've got a deficit, fill that deficit. If it means that the cows are getting 12 kilos of dry matter per cow in pasture, and they require 16 kilos of dry matter, you know you've got a deficit of 4 kilos to fill with silage and meal. If you've got good covers of 33 to 3,500 kilos of dry matter per hectare, you should be able to get around on mostly grass with maybe 1 kilo, 2 kilos of concentrate, and just go along in that 1/40th per hectare per day. So going up through October, that's what we're trying to stick to, is just area allocation per day, and it should be fairly simple. Try and get your grazing down to 1,500 to make sure you optimize that winter tillering, and they have that plant in a really good position going through winter and into spring, so that when you graze it again in the spring, it's going to recover well and you'll get good growth following grazing at that point. When I say that our start of last rotation is flexible, you can't pick all your parameters. You can't pick the day you're going to start your last rotation and finish your last rotation and what cover you're going to finish at, because that depends on what the growth rates are. So if growth rates are really, really poor, if it gets very cold and wet through October, then it might mean you have to pull the pin on grazing a little bit earlier than intended in November. So your last rotation may not be 40 days from what you intended your start to be. But it's important, we'll cover that in the November video. It's important to safeguard that closing cover. But in doing so, on the way there through October, you just stick to your area allocation. If there's a deficit, you fill it. And then we'll look at that again in November in the November video.